you guys remember when Tony Ferguson made weight for a fight that did not happen? Went back in 2020. The crucial fight just before the crucial fight with Justin Gaethje. He was supposed to fight Khabib, just as a reminder, because of COVID, they could not meet. So he actually made weight at home. And that could have been his downfall because, it takes a toll on your body, obviously, to cut weight. And, that's what he did. He cut weight at home. But why is this important? Because I don't know if you guys remember or if you noticed this, but just a reminder that one of the reactions online was from David Goggins. He was actually running shirtless on a road in the desert, and he said, you know what's hard? You know what's tough? This guy, Tony Ferguson, he's an MMA fighter. He made weight at home. He didn't even have to make weight, but he installed fear in the opponents and his future opponent. He's ready for it. He's hard. That's his whole motto. Stay hard, get hard, stay hard. That's a tough mofo. And I mean, we all agree, we all knew this, right? Tony Ferguson is one of the toughest son of a guns out there. In sports, not just in MMA, out there, one of the most toughest guys to ever do it. One of the guys that trains the most and has the most unorthodox training methods ever. Does it help him? He was an interim champion, right? At one point, he had a 12-fight win streak. He did something right. He was doing something right. Now, did he need to do it to that extent? That's debatable, right? But at this point, he's on a 6-fight losing streak. And I'm pretty sure he tried everything before each one of these fights. We saw him completely switch approaches. He was boxing heavy. He was wrestling heavy, grappling heavy, doing more unorthodox stuff. I'm pretty sure he tried it all, right? And it didn't show result. Now, this could be for other reasons. Also very debatable. Why is Tony losing? What did he lose, right? I do agree with a lot of people that, when they say that, okay, his reflexes are not the same. His reaction time is not the same. He's aging and he took damage. Damage is a real thing. That's something immeasurable. Not even the doctors can measure how much damage his brain took in his career, and especially in these last 6 fights where he got not always knocked out, but the Michael Chandler knockout was really bad. And just by example, he was amazing in that fight, right? He was pretty good, not amazing. Okay, we can't call it amazing, but he did pretty good. He had a game plan and he had some success. He was landing some shots he had success versus Michael Chandler and Michael Chandler's style. However, Michael Chandler noticed a pattern and an opening in his guard and his movement. He landed that front kick, and if that front kick landed on any human being, I think it would have knocked him out. Obviously, he's a shorter guy. He won't be able to reach taller guys, but he will be able to pull that off. But if you land such a kick with such ferocity, you're gonna knock out a wolf. A bear with that, not just any human being. But yeah, he landed that, and Tony suffered a pretty bad knockout right there. He didn't look good after that knockout, and I think that took a toll on him, right? Just like the Justin Gaethje fight where he wasn't knocked out, but he received the biggest beating of his career. So yes, that damage to his brain, the reflexes, the reaction time, and just his natural aging process, right? You're not going to be the same fighter as you were at 30 and close to 40. It's just the fact of the matter. So him trying this new method right now with David Goggins, hiring David Goggins. Now keep in mind, I don't think this is a full camp. I think people are in the impression that he's went through the whole camp with David Goggins and he didn't even do martial arts. Come on, guys. He did mixed martial arts training. He's doing it, right? This could have been just a week or 2 weeks with David Goggins, which is a lot, obviously. David Goggins is, I don't think he needs an introduction. Everybody that watches MMA is aware of David Goggins. He's an ex-Navy SEAL. He's a guy that used to weigh 300-something pounds. Now he's one of the fittest humans in the world. Just by example, I think he also has the Guinness World Record in the number of pull-ups done consecutively, or held a record at some point. He's a special human being. He also ran the 135 race in the desert here in the Death Valley, the Badw Race in California. So just, that's during the summer months, you're running in the desert at temperatures that are one of the hottest in the world. 135 miles, day and night. So he's a special human being. He's one of the guys that told the Navy SEALs, you guys got to train harder. This is not hard enough. So, He wrote a book. He was on Joe Rogan. Check him out. If you don't know who he is, check him out. I mean, we, especially as men, it's not just about strength and conditioning. It's the his whole motto is stay hard. Get hard, stay hard. Don't give up. Don't make excuses for yourself. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Nobody cares about you aside from your immediate family. Nobody gives a shit about you or what you do. You gotta work on yourself, and you shouldn't give up, and you shouldn't feel sorry for yourself. And I think it's good. For a lot of us, especially men, this is really important. It's a good reminder. Even for a guy like Tony Ferguson, people say like he doesn't need strength and conditioning. He was always top-notch conditioning and everything. Sure, but it's maybe more of that mental strength. Maybe he needed that. Maybe he needed that reminder. Even a guy like Tony Ferguson needed a reminder like, hey, don't give up, stay hard. You can still win. You're still capable of winning. You were a champion for a reason. Even though you're older, even though you took damage, we're not going to use that as an excuse. No more excuses. Get in there and fight and win. I think it's a good thing. I think it can only help him. I don't think it's one of those things like, yeah, for sure, he will beat Paddy Pimblett now just because he trained with David Goggins. Obviously, that doesn't work that way. There's no recipe for success. But I think it's worth a shot. I think it's a good thing for him. On the other side, we have Paddy Pimblett. He had an interview and he said that this is a lose-lose situation for him. And I think I already talked about this before when the fight was announced. I don't think he's wrong. I think it is indeed a lose-lose situation. If he wins, hey, you beat a guy that's on a 6-fight losing streak. Tony Ferguson, we already know he should have retired. So it's not much of a success. If he loses, oh my God, you lost to him. Right? And not only that, Tony Ferguson is still a fan favorite. Paddy Pimblett he's been receiving death threats, supposedly, as he says. He's been receiving a lot of hate, a lot of backlash, and I get that. It's the way he celebrated and what he said after the fight versus Jared Gordon, where we all agree, aside from him and Dana White, that he won the fight, right? And the judges. I think it was a controversial loss. Just for reference now, Jared Gordon just fought this past weekend, and I'm happy for him. He took the win. But his career would have been completely different if he took the win, if he stopped the hype train back on that day last year versus Paddy the Pimblett. So yeah, I think it is a lose-lose situation. He's not wrong. He thinks he's going to get the fans back. Yeah, sure, he has the ability to do it. Maybe not with this fight. Like he said, even if he wins, even if whatever he says, whatever comes out of his mouth, whatever actions he takes, maybe it will be the next fight. Maybe he has to showcase more of his skills and prove to us that he's worthy of a ranked fighter, a top 10, a future champion, right? Tony doesn't need to prove any of that. We just want Tony to end his career gracefully, right? We don't expect him to be a champion anymore, even though he says, if I'm 5 fights away from a title fight. Sure, yeah, but maybe even if you win, maybe it's time to hang it up. At least hang it up with a win versus a young prospect, a young upcoming guy. So I wish him the best of luck. As far as the training, I think it's worth a shot. I don't think there's anything to lose at this point. We don't expect him to win. Nobody expects him to win anymore. This can only help him. Will it? We will see. Come December at UFC 296. Let me know what you guys think. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up for the algorithm and subscribe to Oct the Cage MMA. I'll see you in the next one.